my channel. I wanted to come on today and just say sorry about the long video I did yesterday. I might erase it. I don't know. It was just too much. You know, it's too passionate maybe. I know there's some good information in there, but I felt like I was going in circles, you know, and I hate that. That bothers me so much. So I just wanted to come on and do a more calm, logical, direct, straightforward, less passionate approach to this transit that you're going through, and obviously much shorter. I do not expect all my subscribers to follow a 4+ hour video, so hopefully this can just break it down quickly for you, and just, you know, make it a little bit easier to watch. Some of the things that I talk about on my channel are hard to stomach. Some of them you guys may feel are hard to believe. Some of them are things you haven't heard, and some of them are things you've heard, but maybe you think they're conspiracy. So it really just depends on where you're at on that platform, but I wanted to make this more everybody friendly. And anyways, here we go. All right, so Saturn and Jupiter are going to be less than 1 degree apart. Jupiter is going to be literally on top of Saturn. They call this the kissing conjunction. They're so close to each other, they could almost kiss. That kind of an energy is going to stir up kind of a fight or flight mode between both of them. They're a little bit irritated to be in each other's space. You know, think of the planets as alive creatures. You know, think of them as alive, and they send us all of our energies. That's why we follow astrology. That's why we follow our Jupiter, our Venus, our Saturn, and what does that mean in our lives? Well, everyone has a Jupiter, everyone has a Saturn. Jupiter is going to be your wisdom. Jupiter is going to be your higher thinking, your higher education. It's going to be your spiritual beliefs. It's going to be confidence. It's also going to represent your financial abundance. It's going to represent your blessings. It can represent whether or not you're going to have children. It represents for women their husband, their spouse, or their significant other, father of their children. Jupiter gives a life. It gives life and leaves a seed. And that's why when you look at astrology and people have children, you always follow Jupiter. That's how you follow whether or not someone's going to have children. So it's very important for women to follow their Jupiter and see what's going on with that. Not only is it your wisdom, but it's your spouse. For men, it's your wisdom. It's your guru. It's your teaching. It's your higher self. You know, so I think that Jupiter is really important. Saturn is going to be your karma. Saturn can represent death. Saturn can represent obstacles, hardships. Saturn can represent a wall in your way, a block in your way, a difficulty that you're needing to work really hard to overcome. But mostly Saturn is your karma. And if you've been born under whatever Saturn you're born under, there's a reason, and it's based on your past life. There's a reason that you're receiving this Saturn now. So right now with Saturn conjunct Jupiter, your karma is kind of, I wouldn't say lightening up, but it's being enlightened. You may be recently and moving forward very soon, very enlightened about your karma. And so there's a lot of teaching that's going on because Saturn and Jupiter are going to teach you something very serious. And it's for your higher good. A lot of people are going to be looking into their astrology charts, birth charts, you know what that is. A lot of you guys are going to be looking into your life path numbers. You guys are going to be looking into whatever spiritual information pertains to your soul's journey. So you may be going to a class. You may be seeking out a teacher, a guru. You may be buying books. You may be going to do online courses. You may be enrolling in astrology schools, astrology classes. This is a time of higher learning, and it would be your karma, it would be your fate. So this is also a time of earth-shattering reality. Literally, it feels like the Earth's reality is shattering. because they're so close together. Saturn is serious, and Saturn is a reality check. Saturn is the strict old man in your chart. He has old traditional values, old traditional beliefs. He wants things to be the old-fashioned way. And whether it's harder or not is not his concern. In fact, Saturn prefers it to be more difficult. Saturn prefers you to struggle longer. Saturn is malefic. He wants you to learn the hard way. He wants you to suffer a little bit. It's about sacrifice and suffering. That's how Saturn views growth, is long, 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 hard learned lessons. Jupiter is more new age. Jupiter is light-hearted, easygoing. Jupiter would rather help you find a spiritual shortcut, maybe through manifestation or visualization, affirmations. Jupiter wants you to use your higher mind to get what you want, in essence, getting that shortcut. Saturn's like, no, no, no. We're too realistic to believe in those things. That's bullshit. And Saturn's like, no, we're not doing it that way. And Jupiter's just like, you know what? I'm here now and I have a say. And so we have two people kind of debating the way things should be, which kind of in essence feels like our world. Right now we feel like everyone's world, everyone's country is just debating on beliefs, debating on traditions, debating on all kinds of things. It's just crazy. So basically, in a nutshell, get ready, guys, because this is going to be an earth-shattering reality. Everything that you think with Saturn is reality, is set in stone, written in stone. It is being challenged and possibly broken with Jupiter. Jupiter here is a lightning rod. If you think of Jupiter as Zeus, which Jupiter is Zeus, also with the lightning rod zapping down Saturn, which is Hades, this is Zeus against Hades. Now, what happens when Zeus and Hades go to war? I know it's like a funny Disney movie, but the Titans come out, you know, because Hades releases the Titans. So what you're going to be seeing on this earth is a lot of demonic energy, a lot of dark energy coming out, fighting against the gods. This is a spiritual war. I mean, this is like all those old stories you've heard. You're going to be watching the news and you're going to be seeing Hades Titans coming out to fight against the challenge of the gods, of God, okay, of the angels. All right, Satan's going to break out his forces, his dark evil forces, okay? So there's going to be people from all ends that are with dark intentions, trying to control you. This is about New World Order a little bit, you know, because the dark side of New World Order would like people to comply, would like people to listen to one source, which is turning out to be just the media. We're kind of getting away from governments, aren't we? And we're just following media blindly. That's kind of the new order. Everyone just follow the new news, what's being said, what's the collective argument. And so that's a lot of control and power. There can be some brainwashing involved, which if you think of the devil card, I'm imagining, you know, the energy of Saturn right now is sit down in a chair. Let me bind you. Let me tie you around with rope. Let me tie your hands down with rope. You're going to watch this information and you're going to believe it because I am right and you are wrong. I am big and you are small. I am in control and you are weak. So we have kind of a masochist here with Saturn. And he gets very controlling in his own sign of Capricorn. So he's there to force you to comply, force you to, you know, believe and agree with what old traditions are, which are really not old. It's more just dominant and controlling and very toxic, you know. And I hate to talk that way about Saturn because I love Saturn, but he is malefic. I am ruled by Saturn. Saturn is my highest, strongest planet in my chart. So, can I come off a little controlling? Yes. Can I come off a little bit bossy? Yes. Can I come off strong on people and try to, put my beliefs first and try to convince them otherwise? I have to admit that is a little bit how I am, and I'm not trying to do it today, but if I do, that's, I am a Saturn ruled person, so you can kind of feel that pressure from me. Now, in tropical astrology, I am also a Capricorn rising. So this would be in my first house, Saturn and Jupiter in Capricorn there. But I'm not following tropical because in tropical they think the sun is in Capricorn, and it's not. They also think this conjunction is happening in Aquarius, which it is not. So I just urge all of you guys to get out your phones. Today's a great day. Download a stargazing phone app on your phone and point it up to that conjunction today, the brightest star. The planets will be enlarged, and you can see the constellation cut out behind them, the constellation they are sitting in, which is Capricorn. So I would urge you to do that, and I do kind of encourage you not to follow tropical astrology when it comes to these astrological events, because it's not correct. I don't know why they're not saying that or owning up to that, or I don't know where they're going with that, but that's just not correct. So anyways, this is all happening in Capricorn. That being said, in Vedic, where the star systems actually are for me, I'm a Sagittarius rising. So I try to be energetic and honest and forthright, and I try to be a good teacher. I try to tell the truth. Okay, I try to follow the truth no matter what, where it leads me. Brave, all those good things. So anyways, now that you're going to have this kind of controlling Saturn. Oh, you've already done that. That is great. Yay. So now that we've learned that Saturn is controlling, and that's what he's trying to do, is rope you up and bind you to tradition, to the past. We're trying to, in a new age, change things the way things have been. Well, this means a lot of great things for our world. Now, we have a fight against our hands. This isn't going to be easy. Jupiter's not going to just get what he wants and Saturn's going to roll over and drool. Saturn is a very determined, stubborn old goat. He's a fighter. He's not just going to roll over on this. So we have this butting of heads, really. And what are some of the things that are probably going to try to be changed? The way we shop, the way we go to school, the way we vote, the way our countries are ran, the way internet runs, the way that there's, not a lot of protection for children out there right now. It's amok. The way Twitter is ran, YouTube is ran, Facebook is ran, Google is ran, everything. All these technological companies, they're going to be dealt with. They have basically run amok, and we have this dominating society that it's okay. It dominates parents. It dominates all of you. You guys will probably start to notice in this earth-shattering reality that you feel exhausted mentally. And it's from your phone. To be honest, it is from your phone. A lot of it. And it's from work. And it's emotions. But a lot of it is your mind is tired because you're constantly going on technology today, okay? It's just your brain is not at peace. It is not where it needs to be as far as the functioning of getting out of this kind of brainwashing society that we're in. And that is just the truth. So, you're going to feel very tired, which Capricorn and Saturn is going to make you realize how tired you really are. Your body's going to feel worn out from running and running and running and going so hard at all this materialistic stuff you want. So working to eat, to live, to survive, to shop, to be relevant. People are working so hard to earn money, to be relevant, to just be noticed, to be looked at, to fit in, to be into society. It costs a pretty penny. So this is that shattered reality check. A lot of us think we're living free and spiritually, but you know, this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is going to help you realize, you know what? I'm not living as free as I thought I was. I am chained to my phone. I am chained to my job. I am chained to fitting in. And that's not what I want. So that's Jupiter. See, that's when Jupiter comes in and says, hey, that's not what you want. You want to meditate. You want to have a good sense of peace and spirituality. Materialism is not so important. Things are not so important. That's not what the Christmas spirit is about. It's not about your phones. It's not about the internet. It's not about being relevant on social media. It's not about any of that. And so Jupiter's coming in to wake us up from our brainwashing, really. And Saturn's angry. Saturn is like, don't rattle my cage. And Jupiter says, oh, I'm going to rattle your cage. I just came to your house. I knocked on the door. I busted in here. Whether or not you wanted me, I'm here. And I'm telling you that you're wrong. So Jupiter is an intervention. Okay? So Jupiter brings a higher power to the darkness. It's honestly like a kidnapper. I hate to compare Saturn like that, but he's malefic. It's like Saturn is a kidnapper, and he's got 3 or 4 girls tied up in his basement, and he's controlling them. And Jupiter comes in like, what do you say? Not evangelists. Vigilantes. Vigilantes. And so Jupiter is a vigilante. And this vigilante comes in, storming in with a lot of other support, possibly the police, and they burst in, tie up Saturn, and like, hey, we're going to go ahead and free these girls now. And Saturn is like, no, I had the perfect control. I had everything masterfully planned like I wanted it. You're ruining everything. You're coming in with a wrecking ball. Everything was orchestrated, and now you're destroying this. I worked so hard, so many years, and you have to understand with Saturn, the way your governments work and social medias and all of that, they've been plotting and planning a world takeover and mass control and getting control of freedom governments for years. This is not something that just started happening 10 years ago. This is something they've been plotting for, possibly over 100 years. Okay, this is something that's been in the works. They have top secret societies. They have back doors. They have top secret scientists. They have teams working on brainwashing. And how does that work? Ever since the Nazis were trying to brainwash the Jews during the Holocaust, they have taken those scientists and those doctors, kept them alive, and used their work and their research that they did on humans. So, they only let us know what they want to let us know. Believe me, there are top secret things you don't know about and we don't know about, but our psychic intuition tells us that is real. We know in our intuition that there is more to the story than they are allowing us to read. You know what I'm saying? There's more behind this door. And so Jupiter is trying to wake us up with our intuition, our psychic abilities, our spirituality, and our healing. Because, by the way, Jupiter is a doctor and a healer. Healer of the ages, which is like Jesus, okay? He comes in here with spiritual powers to masterfully heal the masses. He has a great power. And I just want you to know, even though Saturn is a big hitter, and even though Saturn is karmic, and even though Saturn is malefic and difficult, Jupiter, beautiful Jupiter, is the only planet, the only one that can withstand the forces of Saturn, that can withstand the forces of Rahu and Ketu. Saturn is so big. He's a mass giant. He's so big and so powerful and so impressive and so strong and so magical that let me tell you, and it's well known in astrology, when Jupiter is somewhere surrounded by other negative planets, their effect on Jupiter is not what you would think. Jupiter actually has a big influence on all the other planets, every single one. Jupiter has the power of influence. So being that Jupiter is with a difficult planet, he still has the greatest power of influence. And what this is going to do is make and kind of force Saturn to deal and put up with his presence, because Saturn can't cast him out. Saturn can't say you need to go, okay? So Saturn's going to be angry and frustrated at Jupiter for quite some time. And this is going to be frustrating. And Jupiter doesn't really care. Jupiter wants to save Saturn from itself. So Jupiter's coming and he says, you know what, Saturn? I love you and I love everybody. You're a good planet, Saturn. We need your work ethic. We need your dedication. We need your power for longevity. We need your power of reality, your sense of reality, and, just the realism. I need your realism to bring my high ideals to this earth. So Jupiter says, look, I appreciate some things about you, Saturn. I really do. I just don't like you full-blown power hungry. Okay, we need you. We need you, and we need your sense of reality here to bring a sense of balance in this universe. But right now you're out of control. Okay, you're hurting people, you're causing mischief, there's pain, there's problems. And Saturn says, well, so? People learn through pain and problems. People need to have a heavy dose of karma. People need to suffer to come to God. You should be thanking me. Saturn's telling Jupiter, you should be thanking me that I'm giving them such misery that they're going to come crying to you. And Jupiter says, yes, thank you so much for that. But, look, okay, we got to talk. You're killing too many people, Jimmy. That's not how it works. If this was the mob, Saturn is one of the most heavy mobsters, right? Like Joe Pesci. And he's just causing too much attention for himself. He's like Al Capone, or, whoever it was in the movie Casino with what is the Pesci guy? And Saturn's like, yo, I'm getting you all this money, man. I'm getting you tons and tons of money. I'm hitting guys off. I'm getting these guys out of the way. I'm dealing with the drama. I'm handling shit. Why are you breathing down my neck? And it's like the boss is like, thank you for all you've done, but you're causing a lot of problems. We have a lot of heat. We're on the media. We're on the news. People are drawing attention to the casino. I can't have that. You're killing too many people. It's too noticeable. You're not careful anymore. You're out of control. It's got to stop. And Saturn's going to be pissed. Saturn's like, well, F you, man. I'm over here doing the best I can do and you're going to criticize me, And we're like, yeah, because it's out of balance. So Saturn's kind of getting scolded. But to be honest, it's like two bosses, because Saturn is not under Jupiter, even though it's literally under Jupiter today. But Saturn is pretty equal to Jupiter. But Jupiter is more righteous and has more power, And so Jupiter's like, look, yo, we're both bosses, but you got to get yourself in control, or I'm going to have to pull my people. We're going to have to deal with you. And yes, there's a thing where we take the bosses out, And we don't want problems between the bosses. This is more the bosses coming together and saying, look, do you like what we have going on? Then we got to work together. We got to give. We got to take a little. We got to have some compromise. We got to have compromise or we're not going to be successful. So that's kind of what's going on. I do believe that Saturn and Jupiter are going to work together. Jupiter wants your best and highest good. Whenever you see Jupiter in your chart, remember, Jupiter is a gift, a blessing, your wealth and abundance, your health, your happiness, your wisdom, your beliefs, your faith system. Jupiter is a benefic. He gives. He gives and he gives and he gives. He gives women children. He gives men and women wealth and abundance. He gives you freedom. He gives you expansion. He gives you the answers to your prayers. He gives you, you know, just blessings upon blessings. Jupiter is just shaking down love. And sometimes there can be too much of a good thing. So it's good to have Saturn, not, you know, let Jupiter spoil everyone rotten. That would be terrible. Spoiling someone rotten is no good, but starving them to death is no good either. We need this balance, and so here we are. So today, hopefully that was a better description than it was yesterday. You guys can kind of see what's going on with the bosses up in heaven right now. Jupiter and Saturn against each other, but not really against, just having a confrontation. There's going to be a little bit of a war. There's going to be a little bit of a mob boss war here, but it is going to settle. They're going to come to an agreement. They're going to come to some kind of a compromise. There is going to be losses for Saturn. I can tell you that. All these social media giants, they're going to experience a loss. It just is what it is. The government is going to experience a loss. It just is what it is. Because it's the control, and the New World Order is out of control. So anyways, the title of this video and what I kind of put on the thumbnail is like an earth-shattering reality check. And that's what Jupiter and Saturn are doing, an earth-shattering reality check. So I'm just going to get a collective reading done. I'm not going to do the individual signs, just a collective. I may separate it into the elements just to make it more home, but that's it, okay? So let's start with air, okay? Show me the air energy, please, for this transit. Show me the air energy for Jupiter and Saturn. What is it doing for the air energies, for the collective group? What is it doing? Show me the air. Okay, no. Okay,